My name is Aaron, and we'll explain how to run radiant transfer experiment. And to begin, you gotta power up the machine on the rear side, make sure it's on, and we'll move to the front. The first experiment we'll run will be the heat gradient transfer because it takes longer to set up. First, you want to make sure the heat generator is plugged into the power, and then you want to make sure the temperature sensor is plugged into any input from T1 through T3 that actually reads the temperature. For our machine, T2 is reading the current temperature. T1 did not give the current temperature, so we're setting up the T2. And once you have done it, press the heater button and make sure the light comes on, and then adjust the knob to change the power of the heat generator.
All right, hey, thank you for getting this set up, Aaron. My name is Josh, and I'll be going over the heat portion of the inverse square law. Aaron got us set up, and we found that our little sweet spot to get 140 degrees is 53%. So hopefully that works for you when you conduct this experiment. And we started off at 0.5 meters away from the heat source, and for this experiment we'll move it 0.05 meters closer every time. So you'll want to read your irradiance and make sure it's close to 0. Right now we're showing -1. And then you want to remove the shining filter and wait for that reading to stabilize. Alright, so now our reading has stabilized. So you want to write that down in your chart. Put the sensor back in, move it 0.05 meters, and you want this to stay as close to the sensor as possible. And you want to wait now for this to stabilize back down to 0. You can help with a little convection. Alright, so now we've stabilized back to 0, and you just repeat the process until you get all your readings.
Alright, my name is Rodrigo, and I'm going to walk you through doing the light inverse square law experiment. So first thing you need to do is make sure you're set up correctly. So you can see you need your light source tucked over here, and you need your sensor tucked over here. Now, so what you're measuring over here is the luminance. So before you start your experiment, make sure you tare it. So you press 0 here, and it's going to 0 it over here, so you can accustom the device to the ambient light. So once the device is properly zeroed, we can turn on our light source. That's going to turn on over here, and as you can see, it's going to shine into this sensor. Make sure it has this filter on, and you'll be able to get your measurement more or less immediately. Over here. While you're conducting this experiment, try to abstain from moving in this general area so you don't affect your reading. Once you have your reading for your first data point, you just get it increasingly closer on 5 centimeter intervals and keep filling your data. Right. Make sure that you're counting the distance in between the sensor and the light from where the light begins. In this case, it's right over here. So our first data point will be taken exactly half a meter from this point, which puts us over here. From there, your following data points will be 5 centimeters apart.
My name is Kevin, and for the next part of our light experiment, we're going to be doing the cosine law. Before we do begin, you want to make sure you zero out your radiance again. And you want to make sure that you have your filter on, and that we're going to start at 0 degrees. We're going to go ahead and turn on the lamp. Like Rodrigo mentioned before, you should get almost immediate response in reading. And we're going to slowly be going to move in increments of 10 degrees for this experiment, and we're going to end up with 70 degrees on both sides. You want to make sure you go both ways left and right because you can potentially get different readings. So here, since we started at 0, we're gonna go and move to 10 degrees. You want to wait till your reading stabilizes and record that to your table, and you will continue that with 10 degrees increments until you reach 70 degrees on both sides.